Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Man, I've had so many comments on the video with this XL-500 from yesterday about this muffler that I figured, well heck, let's just get that out of the way. So, if you guys haven't seen that video, that would be 2 videos back, maybe 1. Can't remember what order I posted them. But anyway, up on the hill, dealing with big old Ponderosa. Got this thing back out once we were about halfway through the tree, and this time it ran great. The new piston and cylinder and rod and all of that, everything meshed fine. We had no bad occurrences with it, so it's running great, and it sounds different. Watch that video so that you can hear what it sounds like. So I installed what they call a silencer in here, and it is noted in the IPL. I believe the up through revision 1 mentions it. It doesn't usually picture it. The other IPL that explicitly will call out is the XL-660, which is the international version of the XL-500. So from here it still looks all the same. I do have my spark arrestor installed. Let me get this zoomed in. You guys be able to see this. Alright, that'll be pretty good. Get this off. Okay. Now this is where you're going to start to see that there's something a little bit different. Instead of a standard baffle in here, you're seeing that's screwed to something. And I've already lost, in this mess of junk, the original baffle, but you guys know what it looks like. So here it is. I called it brass. That's what color it is. What the material is, I really don't know. But this is a silencer. So here's the muffler port. Exhaust goes in, and then it has to come out the back and then come out through the holes around the outer edge here. Now it's restrictive when you think about how much surface area there is on a standard baffle. I really want to find that. It'd make this so much better if I'd thought of that before hit and go on the camera. It probably would have been great. Here we go. Here we go. Comparison's sake. Now there's a little bypass right over here on the side that obviously is going to let unmuffled, well, unrecirculated exhaust through. And if I really gave a rip, I could drill a few more holes in here, but that would just totally defeat the purpose of what this is doing. So I don't remember the part number off the top of my head, but that's what this thing's all about. That's why this saw sounds a little differently. Now I needed to take this apart because this is a slightly taller assembly, and when you put the spark arrestor on here, it sits against those screws, and the IPL calls out for these little .060 shims to be installed on the studs here, and I missed that the first time around when I was putting this together. Do all this, not knock those off, that would be great. The kit came with new studs, the baffle already attached to this, and then even a new body screw for the three hole muffler bodies. A lot of you remember the very early ones only had 2. Okay. Now, if this sits just a little bit higher, I'll know I got it. Yes. There we go. Now, even though this has the reinforced muffler body, it was already cracked by one of these holes. unfortunately, I'm just not going to be able to get that thing to be quite perfect, which is unfortunate because these chrome muffler covers are not the easiest damn thing to come by. Oh well. It'll do until I find a better one. Let's put it back on and do a little test run. And I'll dig out my tachometer, because I swear up on the hill it just sounded like it wasn't reaching a full rev, but you guys can see on the video the way it's cutting. It was cutting great, and that can't all be the nice grind I put on the chain. Part of it can, but not all of it. Alright, let me back this back out. Find that tachometer, and she should still have enough fuel in her for a little test run, and we'll see how this thing sounds here in the garage. Working good. I'm going out on a limb and say I forgot to put Loctite on this damn screw. I'm glad it came out here on the bench and not up on the hill. All my preaching about that, and on one of my saws I forget to do it. Isn't that great? Better. Okay, 9100 RPM. Means it's tuned awful close. Awful damn close. A little sap on there too. That Ponderosa was green, so I'm surprised I didn't get more sap. With this fresh paint, I'll be able to wax everything right off. Oh, and we got a chip on the handle. 2 of them. Alright. That was part of this 500. I wanted to be able to run it, but I wanted a nice paint job on it, wanted it to look cool, and quite frankly, wanted a durability test one of these paint jobs. And oh boy, are we going to test it. Man, look at that sap buildup. Just for grins, let's see how much of that's going to come off without being a problem. Everybody has their trick on sap. I really do like the WD-40. Oh, beautiful. Money. Check that out. You can see it took off the sap and didn't touch the clear coat. Didn't touch it at all. So there you go, folks. There's the deal on that muffler. I've seen 2 part numbers for that silencer, and I think one is for the short muffler body, you know, that real thin one. I don't know if I have in my I do in my garbage bin. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but you can see that that one is really deep. That's on the saw, and this one that's in my hand is about 1/4 of an inch less deep. That's why there's two sets of muffler studs. The very original ones were this narrow, thin body. And I think one of those silencers is for this, and then there's the bigger one. And I can't remember where I came up with that kit that I put in here. It was just one of those things that I had, remembered I had, and pulled it out for this saw just for grins. Thought, gee, wouldn't it be neat to try it out on something vintage like this. So anyway, there it is. XL-500. She's revving at full throttle to somewhere around 9,100 RPM. No load. And with that silencer on there, the damn thing it actually isn't terrible to run. You know, I'm going to use hearing protection no matter what, but the silencer makes a difference. We'll see. I'll monitor it and see if I end up with any carbon buildup or, you know, if I feel like there's any power loss because of it. Normally you want a free-flowing exhaust, and a plate like this is going to give you that. This is much more restrictive, but quieter. So there's a trade-off.